What's going on, y'all? We are back with another episode of the Dr. Pepper Guy podcast. I'm your host, Out of Context Elliot, and today I have a very special guest introducing Sergeant CJ.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah. Had to reach out for this one.
And also, you like Dr. Pepper. That's an instant win in my book.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. Yeah, this is my grad cap.
Ooh.
Yeah, we got to customize ours. Yeah. I didn't know that about you, but that adds to my approval of you. All right. Tell the audience a bit about yourself, because I don't think they know who you are.
Well, as you just said, my name is Sergeant CJ, and I have my own Twitch called Sergeant CJ's Army. And very recently, ever since last month, I grew quite a bit. Thanks to a content creator by the name of Spook and Jukes. And I'm sure we'll be getting into that as this podcast goes on.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. What type of content do you produce on that Twitch of yours?
So I just do like a lot of gaming and like it revolved. It was mostly Dead by Daylight. I usually try to do like variety. Then I realized like, oh, I should probably like stick to one game, trying to like grow an audience, and then I could do variety.
Yeah,
And
Twitch
then,
is a good market for focusing on one game and then branching out once you're famous, for sure.
but like now, I've been mostly into Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I see you playing that on Discord a lot.
Oh yeah, me and my
Yeah.
homeboys be playing it a lot. We have
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah. I don't think my PC can run it. My PC's like a cheap $400 custom one that I got from a friend.
And see, I originally had a PS4, but then when I realized like, oh, I can't cross-play with my friends while on PS4, I was just like, oh, well, better get a PlayStation. So I had some extra GameStop gift cards and had some money in savings and got a PS5.
Nice. Yeah. PS5. I'm still trying to get a PS5. I want to get a PS5 to connect to that TV behind me. Or I've thought about even connecting it to this monitor system I have going on right here, but yeah. So, you know what? You can probably tell your story better than I can. I'm not the best storyteller. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So, how did Spooky Jukes make you go viral?
So this happened around the middle of July, where I was streaming Dead by Daylight, and it was actually the first stream where I actually had TTV in my gamer tag. Like I actually changed my gamer tag to have TTV in it to kind of help direct traffic to my channel. And so it went along just fine. You know, the stream was going well and everything, had some survivor games, some killer games. Then I get to this clown game, and it was on the Larry's map, and I was actually going up against a four-man survive with friends. And two of those survivors were actually streamers themselves, but they weren't live. Now I didn't know that. I actually found that out from Spook and Jukes. So I just played how I usually played, and I ended up getting a 2K. But let's just say that those survivors didn't take well to the way I played. You know, one of them was crying about tunneling. Some of the others were like crying about camping, which they kind of instigated, by the way, because like the tunneling part, the person as soon as they got off hook ran directly into me to take the aggro.
Hmm.
So I just hook them, and then the rest of the team comes swarming around the hook. So I have no reason to leave it,
Mm-hmm.
and so I just wait for someone to commit so I can get a trade. But none of them committed, so they died on hook. And then towards the end of the game, you know, they had one gen remaining and there was nobody else on death hook. I went after one other person, downed them, got them on a hook, and by that time they had finished the last gen and were opening up the exit gates. And I got that second survivor on the hook and just decided to stay there and secure it for a 2K because that's basically a draw in Dead by Daylight.
Mm-hmm. I'm not. I don't play Dead by Daylight, which is another reason why I'm having you explain this.
Yeah. So basically,
Yeah.
in a sense, like camping is like just standing on the hook and not going after anybody
Mm-hmm.
else, and then tunneling is like chasing someone immediately after they get off hook.
Okay.
Which They do have something that can help negate that, which is borrowed time, which is like a 10-second timer where they can use to get away.
Mm-hmm.
But then usually a killer can like count that down and just easily get it down.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a legitimate strategy, but like some like die-hard survivor mains like definitely look down upon it.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
But it's whatever. Like it's a game. You
Yeah.
utilize what strategies you can.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
whenever I hooked that last survivor and just waited there, that's when the messages started to pour in from one of the people that was pretty upset. As a matter of fact, like I still have the screenshots. I mean, I'm not gonna like screen share, but I have them like on my phone, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna read them all. But like some of the stuff, like, oh, went past
They were big bad.
it. Yeah, they were mad. Like one of them was like, "How you get one kill with only 6 hooks? Are you tunneling?" And then they said, "Face camping two? Ain't no way." And then that's when the second person comes in, I guess after they died, saying, "Oh, this dude has average 2 viewers and he's playing like this. That's crazy."
Bro,
And
they
they're like,
looked
"How?"
you up.
Yeah. So after the game is like over, there's like in the end game chat, there's a place where you can see the killer's gamer tag, and like sometimes you would see TTV in the name, and that's usually where people will like look you up to see if you're live.
Yeah.
So I guess they saw it was live and thought, So
Oh. Yeah.
there were actually during the Spook and Jukes video, there were actually 2 people that weren't blurred, and that's because their names no longer existed on Twitch. Probably because they got banned. That's what I like to think, because,
Yeah.
you know, some of the stuff they said were just totally messed up. Like, you thought the viewer shaming was bad. Oh, it
Yeah.
got much worse.
I've been viewer shamed before. It's like, come on, man.
Literally, the same guy that did the viewer shame
Wow.
literally said, and I quote, "You should feel shame, like a lot of shame. You should want to commit harakiri." And if you
It's a
don't know what
game
that
of
means,
Dead by Daylight.
yeah, and if you don't know what that means, well, it's a very, uh, how do I put this? It's a way
Self-harmful
of,
term.
yes, it's harmful. I'm not wanting to say anything to get you demonetized.
Oh,
But
you're totally good. You can say whatever you want.
okay, so harakiri basically means like committing suicide by like stabbing yourself in the abdomen with a
Yeah.
dagger.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was just when I saw that I was like, well, I know this game brings out the worst of people, and I was just like, man, that is so sad. You should really
Yeah,
look
it's
yourself
like
in the mirror before saying something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, they told me that person told me to off myself, and then even mocked my intelligence, and then even asked if my parents died recently. He literally said, "Did your parents die recently? Like, why are you taking it out on Dead by Daylight?"
Good God. Maybe his parents
Yeah,
died
that
recently, and he was like, a lot of just getting out some pent up aggression.
yeah.
Who
And
knows?
I pretty much was like back to him like, "Oh, well, why are you taking it out on me? It seems like you're
Yeah.
taking something out.
Yeah.
Is
Right.
everything okay in your life?
Yeah. Do you need to talk about it?
You got
I
something
know a
on your
good
mind?"
therapist if you know what you're.
And so
Yeah.
that's when one of the TTVs in that, so 2 of them got out
Hmm.
and 2 of them died. So it's basically a draw because 2 people die, 2 people get out. And
Hmm.
that's when the second person who was a streamer came in and was like, he pretended to be nice by saying, "Yo, GG's, man." And then he literally said, "Psych, you're garbage. Stop camping."
None of them were live. You said
Yeah, none of them were live.
that's a good
And
thing. You would have
so,
probably got rated bad.
well, I'll get to that in a second because there's something ironic about that actually. So after that game, I pretty much just was like, okay, I'll just move on to my second match. But those, I think there was mostly just 3 of them. Those 3 just, well, I think it just whittled down to 2 because kind of looking at the messages, it like just whittles down to like 2 of them left because then after that TTV did that whole "psych your garbage," he like left the chat, and then it was just the other 2 friends. Or actually, no, I see 3 because I just see some of the same names over and over because of how much they're typing.
Hmm.
So they proceeded to stay for my entire next match. I just move on to another match where I'm playing Nemesis from Resident Evil, and they were pretty much just talking the entire time. I was like ignoring it because during the game I can't see the chat off to the right. I can see when someone messages, but if I want to see the message, I have to look over left to my PC to like see the message.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff they were saying, like oh, foreshadowing, you're gonna get 0 hooks this match. Oh, just nah, there's no way this guy's a real specimen. And yeah, they were even mocking my Twitch name as well.
It's not that
And,
terrible of a username. You know, it's not
and the ironic part,
Elliot spelled weird.
literally, yeah, literally one of them said, "I hope you look back on this and realize you're going nowhere career-wise." The irony is
Yeah.
stunning.
um, yeah, I do that every day anyway. It's I was doing that. I've been doing that since I was 6 years old, man. I've been doing that shit for 13 years.
So I pretty much continued on with the stream after that. I did a few more games before I ended stream because I think I'd been going for like 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
So then I had an idea. So I've been a fan of like Spook and Jukes' content because what he does, he posts like killer highlights from games and funny moments.
Yeah.
And also he talks about streamers that often get harassed by TTVs, or he talks about toxic TTVs that are like spreading hate throughout the Dead by Daylight community. And some of it is like pure sad and hilarious. And he had like an email that people could send like submissions to possibly make like videos about. So I had the
Nice.
idea. I was like, you know what? I could have this be, if he made this into a video, I could possibly send this as like a message to smaller streamers who just start playing Dead by Daylight to know what to
Yeah.
expect, so that way they're like,
It could
how do I
also
put it,
just
like,
apply to small streamers in general, I feel like. I felt like
yeah,
it could.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I submitted him the VOD and I submitted him the screenshots, the messages and stuff, and I think it was about three weeks later before I got a response back. I believe it was on August 3rd. And so
Nice.
like, he looked over the submission and he felt really bad for me because yeah, like as I said, all the stuff
Yeah.
they were saying.
It's like,
You know,
yeah.
I enjoy seeing salty survivors ended by daylight, but that was just beyond
Yeah.
salt.
That's like they basically dunked your head in the goddamn Pacific Ocean and with your mouth open and wanted you to taste the salt. Um,
Because examples
yeah.
of like salt and it being funny was one message I got
Yeah.
after a killer game, and a
Yeah.
survivor was like, "I hope you forget to plug in your phone tonight." Like that, like
What?
that's funny.
That's just funny. I might use that on someone. Like, that's funny. Next time I'm fucking around with the boys online, it's like, bro, I hope you forget to plug in your phone tonight.
Yeah, see
That's a
see
good
that's
one.
the kind of stuff that I just let slide because it's like, you know what, it's just
Yeah.
funny and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. If any of you in my chat want to say, I hope you don't plug in your phone tonight, feel free. You're ever in my. Yeah. I stream on YouTube, so yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so here's the really ironic part. See, around that time that stream happened, I
Hmm.
had 53 followers, and the other two TTVs in that friend four-man Swift, which is basically survive with friends when we say Swift,
Hmm.
they have they had less followers than I did.
Oh.
So
Oh.
that's like really ironic. Like you honestly think that those kind of people that just starting out would respect the grind and even like
Yeah.
commemorate
The
it,
grind's brutal.
because yeah, the
Yeah.
grind at the start is, yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
it's
brutal. Like,
brutal. Yeah.
yeah,
I was probably putting in like. Mm, before I hit 1,000 subscribers, I was probably putting in like 20 hours a week live.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work, but you just keep at it, and eventually something like this could potentially happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, in a way, like
Yeah.
that whole scenario was almost like a blessing in disguise. Because then
Yeah.
around August 4th, which already was like a busy day for me, because I had to move apartment units. Not
Oh,
really
fun.
far. It was just like
Yeah.
down one floor.
Moving in general is still a pain in the ass, though.
So pretty much it took
Yeah.
like over 3 to 4 hours to get myself moved, and then
Yeah.
after that I had a little break time before I could go to work.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was making my way to my car, I then noticed some notifications on my phone, seeing that a couple new people joined my Discord because I linked my Discord
Mm-hmm.
in my Twitch channel. And I realized that those people came from Spook and Jukes' video that he had just posted. And so, uh, on the car ride to work, I just had my phone at the side and I was just listening to the video. And as soon as I got to my work, I looked over at my Twitch to see, oh, maybe I got some new followers. I went from like 53 at that moment. It was like 30 minutes later. I was already at like 289. And I was just like, what the hell?
That always feels good when you make a big jump.
Like,
Yeah.
and this was just like right before I went into work. So I had to like, okay, I
Yeah.
have to contain myself now
Yeah.
because I'm like so excited about
Yeah.
this. And I just knew it was going to keep growing that entire day because,
Yeah.
you know, so I went into work and pretty much had it at the back of my mind the entire time. I only had a 4 hour shift, so it really wasn't
Yeah.
that bad.
No.
If it was longer, I would be like, God damn, I just want to see the progress
Yeah.
that it's making because this is just insane.
I had that happen on breaks at my old job, like where I had a YouTube short that was popping off, and I was like, I would get on my break and I'd be like, yeah, I feel you, I feel you.
Yeah. And so by the end of the day, when I headed back home and after I got some dinner, my channel had already hit over 1,000 followers. So that was completely insane. I was
Bro,
absolutely, yeah,
I
I
wish
was
I did
absolutely
it in a day.
yeah, but it was insane. I could barely comprehend it. I was just totally gobsmacked that I even had to make an
Mhm.
announcement in my Discord regarding it because I knew a lot of people joined from there.
Yeah, tell the viewers who haven't heard of Spooky Jukes, like roughly how big is his channel?
He has around 124,000 subscribers. So
Yeah.
he's one of the bigger Dead by Daylight content creators.
Hmm. And that's like, and to think about it, like in a day, that's just like not this isn't the correct math, but that's like not even 1% of his sub count, which is
Yeah.
just crazy. It's like, yeah, yeah. A shout out from a guy like that, like you just need a tiny fraction, and all of a sudden your channel's like in a day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because in some of his other videos where he talks about like people who either gotten harassed by a toxic TTV or
Hmm.
just toxic survivors in
Hmm.
general, he always usually shouts them out and they usually get a pretty good boost as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So it's not entirely too surprising, but it
Yeah.
was just big for me because I did not see that much coming.
Yeah. Hey, Spooky Jukes. Hey, hey, man. hey, hey. I'm trying to hit 2,000 subs by the end of 2023. um. Hey.
I like using my soundboard sometimes.
That's what that was. I was okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I heard that and I was like, huh?
But yeah, that's the
Yeah.
entire gist of the story and how it all happened.
Yeah, congratulations on your recent influx. How's the new viewers treating you?
Oh, it's been pretty much the stream I did after, like a couple of days later, once I got situated and stuff.
Yeah,
It was just a lot of support. Like my viewer count like went way up because it's like people were just
yeah,
waiting for like the next time I went live for the first time after that video
yeah. I was gonna
went up.
say that first
And I
that
had
first
like a
live
little
stream was probably big. My buddy Scott saw it. He told me about you in that stream.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
lot of fun. It was
yeah.
insane. It
It's
was like big moment for
yeah.
me.
it's very rare that my buddy Scott sees through a live stream that isn't mine, so that's high praise right there.
And at that point, since after that first live stream, I was already meeting the requirements for
Uh-huh.
excuse me, affiliate.
Yeah.
So I was able to apply for affiliate, and I have it.
Yeah. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah. I was able to get I streamed on Twitch for a few months in summer of 22, um, but then it just got hard to grow, so I'm like, you know, I went back to YouTube. I also took a break.
Yeah,
I
I'd
also took a
say
break in the fall.
honestly, I'd say for like anybody out there who wants to get into like Twitch or YouTube content creation,
Yeah,
the key component is patience and determination.
for sure, for sure. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. You can have the best idea in the world, and the algorithm could absolutely bend you over and grab you by the legs and just throw you through a wall like you're nothing, and then it's up to you to crawl back.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I had a video last week that got like 16 views on the first 3 days. I was like, and at 1,300 subs, you're just like, why you gotta be like this?
No, that's how it be. Because sometimes either
Hmm.
people are busy, or maybe it could be a thing where your notives are not working.
Yeah, yeah, I get that a lot. I think the algorithm. I just got a, I just got a telemarketer call. Um, yeah, it could. I've already had. I had just last April. I had a strike on this channel.
Oh,
Apparently, I abused children, according to
what?
the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, the video didn't even feature a child. Yeah, I just had a yoga. I was just laying on the ground and like a yoga ball got thrown at my nuts and it didn't even hurt.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my nuts were not exposed, by the way.
Yeah.
Just to specify that. Um,
Or were they?
yeah, yeah. So and I got a 3 month strike, and that got, I basically walked on eggshells for 3 months, and then I had like, and then right after I released a really good Cards Against Humanity video.
God, I
Because
miss that game.
yeah,
I miss playing that with like friends and stuff.
yeah,
It's like one of those games that you like have to like play like every now and then, so that way the
yeah.
content it just stays fresh. And
Exactly.
hilarious.
Yeah. I usually play with buddies like once every other month or so. Like, and that's a
Yeah.
really good number. I was able to get like we played for an hour. It was a really good game. My buddy Scott, who recommended you to, was actually in it. We play it all the time on the Discord server. If you ever want to join us sometime, I record them and then I get videos.
I might need a link to your Discord though.
I'll hit you up. I'll hit you up. I'll hit you up after the recording.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We also play Minecraft. Any hoodles. We're all
Which version of Minecraft?
Bedrock.
Yes.
That got you excited.
Yeah, because all I see is mostly like Java people, and like
Yeah.
Java is like
Yeah.
somewhat different, but like
Yeah.
since I'm on console, I pretty much have to be Bedrock.
Yeah. It's yeah. I'm on my PC so I can play both. But recently, like last year, they made it so that way if you owned one version of the game, you get both on PC. So I've been able to, I don't have, but like the guy who pays for the server, Scott, is on his phone. So so we have a lot of phone people. I'm like one of 3 people in that server with a functioning PC too. Functioning.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. I'll send you a link after the stream. We'd love to have you. Yeah, 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 yeah. So I always ask. You know what? I'm gonna ask this question. You mentioned on the fly in our DMs that you were a runner. This is a question that not my viewers probably don't give a shit about this, and they're probably like, "God damn it, he's asking this question again." But so you're a runner. How were you in high school as a runner?
I definitely wasn't the best. I was somewhere like in the middle range
Yeah.
when it came to running, and I'm not much of a runner anymore because I kind of got burnt out of it after high school. I did it for like 4 or 5 years,
Yeah.
and some of the workouts that we did were very like brutal to say the least. We literally
Yeah.
had there was this one workout where we went down to this lake we had in my town at the time.
Hmm.
And what we would do, we would go there in the mornings so that way we could beat the heat and not feel
Oh
hot.
yeah. Yeah, summer workouts are the worst, especially when they're
And
at like
to
3.
kind of paint the picture of this like lake area, they like if you're like standing in one position, you have the lake in front of you, and then you have this road that goes through that separates like a playground area from the lake and like
Hmm.
a kind of a park area.
Hmm.
And so we would have this workout called saddles, where we would literally run up one hill on the lake and then run back down and then run up the other hill on the other side and then run back down and then
That
we would
actually.
have to run around the entire
Oh.
lake and then back up the hill to like this rail yard where we started at.
How long was it around the lake, distance
I
wise?
think about hmm, if we ran around the lake, be like a mile or two.
So it was like mile repeats with hills worked in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. You just described like going down and up, and I'm like, oh, that just seems.
I also kind of saw your face whenever I mentioned saddles because I imagined if we were
Hmm.
like tied together.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it'd be brutal. In fact, literally, we had this cross country camp.
Yeah.
It would happen during some of the early summer,
Hmm.
and it was like optional if you wanted to go or not.
We would do that, and we would always do that in July. Yeah.
But see, like we went out to like I guess like this little homestead that one of our coaches had, and we would just camp out there
Oh, that's sick.
uh for like a day or like and a half. I think 2 nights basically, because
Hmm.
we would get there the first day, and then we would be there for the whole next day, and then we would wake up the next morning, go on a long run, and then head back home. And one of the things that we did was literally called the Eliminator Hill Challenge, where it was literally a 1 mile run up a hill, and we were put into groups and we were tied together.
Oh.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness.
That's yeah. I was
And when
gonna.
it was my first year, that was like very brutal. But
Yeah.
then when I went there my third year, I was actually one of the people leading my pack, so that felt good.
Yeah. It always is like. Yeah, Fred. The juxtaposition between your freshman year and your senior year is massive, mindset wise and just athleticism wise.
Right.
Yeah, I had to ask because I'm curious. I'm a college runner myself, so I did 4 years of high school, and I'm doing you know a few more in college. Depending
And
on.
how's that been?
Good, good. I've been doing that the last few months. I have practice today at 4. Yeah, we do our track workouts on a dirt track, which I'm not a big fan of because it's dirt. Especially like last week it rained both days. Uh,
Oh,
so yeah, I was very muddy. I wore a white T-shirt one of the days. I just had a race on Saturday and I bombed hard, uh, guys, because I had bad shoes on and my ankle pronates. So basically, I'm out for a couple days because of a twisted ankle because of that race.
mm,
Yeah, I was supposed to
yeah,
drop my
I
PR,
know
but
that feeling.
yeah, the injuries rack up. Yeah, partly why I did it in college is because my high school was so riddled with injuries that I just wasn't satisfied.
Yeah,
I
like there were definitely times like at my
yeah
high school where people would either get like a twisted ankle or
yeah
sometimes they would get
I
like sore
I keep a
Achilles,
bio
which
I keep a biofreeze on my desk just because my legs feel like they're all the time I have some problem.
oh yeah, and when you're like running and your Achilles gets sore, that's like the worst.
Uh, yeah, I broke my pelvis running.
Oh, that probably sucked.
That was like 7 months ago now. Whenever February was,
Yeah.
almost 7 months ago to the day. Actually, wow, we're actually further into September than I realized. It's the
Uh,
5th.
is it about time you shout out your sponsor?
It is. It is. Thank you for reminding me. This podcast is sponsored by Dubby. Ladies and gentlemen, Dubby is an all-natural energy drink brand. I've been drinking it throughout this podcast. What Sergeant CJ doesn't know is that I woke up like 5 minutes before I called him. It's why I was 3 minutes late. I've been able to convey energy simply because I was caffeinated through the use of Dubby. Dubby is an all-natural energy drink brand. They also produce water bottles at an affordable price, and it's a delicious energy drink supplement. It is a much cheaper alternative to buying a Monster every day for 30 days. One can of these will last a month. A Monster will last like an hour, unless you're one of those people who drinks their drinks really slow and is weird. I'm not one of those people because I'm already a water bottle and a half, just since I started this recording, and it's been 30 minutes. So, yeah, I highly recommend you shop at dubby.gg. I'm sure Sergeant CJ needs some caffeine. Sergeant CJ, have you ever had a stream where you're live and you're just tired?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, shop at Dubby. Shop at Dubby. Solves all my problems with that. It gives you instant boost of energy, and it doesn't make you crash. It's not like a lot of it gives you just the right amount of caffeine where you're able to boost. It gives you a massive boost without making you just plop down on your face on the carpet like a deadbeat dad after a weekend at the bar. I said weekend because he's probably so drunk that he just wakes up there every morning and then comes home on Monday when he has to get to work in the morning.
Now, see, I actually had one stream that I did before, like, the whole Spookajukes thing happened, where I decided to have, like, a late-night stream from, like, any fellow night owls.
Mm-hmm.
And
I did that
I think
once.
I had it, like, start at, like, midnight my time. And see, I basically just had some Code Red Mountain Dew. And literally after that live stream,
mm-hmm.
I don't know how, but I was really able to... I just felt like pulling an all-nighter. Like, it was during the summer, I had nothing else going on, and it was like... I mean, it felt invigorating, like, after I saw the sun come up, but then I just, like, went to sleep for, like, 3 hours to catch up on some sleep.
Yeah. Every time I was doing a late recording later in the day the other day, and I was like, oh, man, I just want to go to bed, but I was like, And then I was able to just fall asleep right after. It didn't, like, keep me up too hard. I'm like, highly recommend. Shop at dubby.gg. And then also use code Elliot, spelt ELIET, on your purchase. All right, there will be a link in the description below Sergeant CJ's Twitch. After you go follow him, I highly recommend you buy some Dubby. All right, you can use my coupon code for a discount. And no, their Labor Day sale is probably not going on anymore, so you probably can't use that. This is going up Friday of this week, so. Yeah, thank you for listening to that ad segment. Now back to the podcast. Yeah. All right, Sergeant CJ.
You can just call me CJ if you want.
Yeah, thank you. All right, CJ. What media have you been consuming over the last week or so? You know? It can be anything. Book you're reading, game you're playing, movie you're watching, show you're watching, anything like that.
Well, on Disney Plus right now, the Ahsoka show just got released, and I've been kind of checking that out.
An episode
I'm not
tonight.
I'm not too big into Ahsoka, but I figured I might as well watch it anyways because it's gonna have Hayden Christensen in it, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
He's hot.
And I think probably my favorite Star Wars show so far that I kind of watch like religiously if I'm like doing stuff and just having it in the background is probably The Bad Batch. You ever seen that show?
I've talked to so much Star Wars on this podcast. When The Bad Batch was airing, man, that season 2 finale got me crying.
Oh yeah, that was so sad.
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked because Tech was my favorite character.
I know. Dave Filoni loves to do that. He loves to just get you to love a character, especially the clones, and then he just loves to basically stick his hand in your gut, like in Indiana Jones 2, rip your heart out and hold it in front of you, and as you cry.
That's pretty much what they did with the finale of Mandalorian season 2.
Mm-hmm. And then they retconned it in Book of Boba Fett. But
yeah,
yeah, I'm watching Ahsoka
I'm not
as
gonna
well.
lie. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely like the newer Boba Fett outfit. As a matter of fact, I have a cosplay of it, and
That's
I even
fair.
wore it to Comic Cons.
Oh, that's sick. I want to do a Comic Con before I want to get like a group of buddies together, and I'm a big cosplay guy. I have a bright orange jumpsuit for Saul Goodman. I for Halloween I wore tidy whities and an apron. I was Walter White.
Uh,
I'm that guy who does two costumes on Halloween. I have a day costume and a night costume.
well, I'm kind of the same way because I had a Boba Fett costume, and then I also had a Michael Myers
Ah,
costume.
sick.
Like I literally have a boiler suit, and then I have the 2018 version of
Yeah.
the mask.
Oh, that's sick. On my cross country like media photos for college, I brought a Sith cloak. So I'm sitting there like with a half exposed cross country singlet and a Sith cloak. Just
Yeah,
my coach thought it was hilarious. Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah, loving. I'm liking Ahsoka so far. Other than getting impaled by a lightsaber and being
Oh my
totally
god,
fine.
yeah, me and my friend like
I
talk
was
about it
like,
all the time. Like
I
Qui-Gon Jinn is now just looking in the afterlife
yeah,
like,
it's like
oh
we had that happened like in 3 instances in Kenobi. I'm in. When did it happen in The Mandalorian? I might just be gaslighting myself, but someone survived the
um,
lightsaber to the gut.
uh, I mean the well, I think it
Yeah,
might be mentioned that the Grand Inquisitor
yeah. Grand Inquisitor did it, and Reva did it twice. In
Yeah, even when she was a
I'm like,
kid, which is also confusing because a kid's
yeah,
body is weaker than an
yeah.
adult. So.
That yeah, they could have like I would hunt in the Clone Wars. I would 100% believed Maul got cut in half, but like these people got a little poke. You even saw the wound like on her hip. Like it looked like a scratch. Like I'm like that's literally a beam of fire that went through you.
And is like cauterizing your
Yeah,
guts.
yeah. Your internal organs should be melted.
And this is also like a thing in the Kenobi show.
Yeah.
So a lightsaber can't cut a stormtrooper in half, but a laser fence can. Do you guys
Yeah,
remember that scene?
yeah. That laser fence scene was so dumb.
I mean,
He's
it was
like,
cool, yeah, but like it made
yeah,
no sense. I was
he
like,
could
okay, a
he could
laser fence
go
can do
around
that,
it.
but a lightsaber can't.
Yeah, it looked like he could go around it too. Like, like, I
I
was
mean, I'm
like,
not gonna lie. Even though Kenobi kind of had its flaws, whenever the third episode released and had Darth Vader and all that, I was
mhm,
like geeking out in my room because
mhm.
I was like so happy to see Darth Vader back.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. I'm like, yeah, I loved the finale of that show, regardless of the show's flaws. By the time that the finale is when they were doing all the prequel callbacks, I was like, you know what, they that show wasn't what I thought it would be, and it was probably the biggest disappointment I've seen in any Star Wars project ever. Um, but I didn't care by the finale.
He,
They
I
said
kind of
hello
have
there.
I kind of have this mindset for most Star Wars content now that like yes, it's going to have its
Yeah,
flaws. It's not going to be perfect. So
yeah,
like enjoy the moments that are like actually good, and then that's
yeah.
what we'll like talk
It's
about and
like,
just laugh about the moments that
yeah,
are bad.
Book of Boba Fett
Because
sucked, but it gave us a live action Cad Bane, and those 2 episodes with the Mandalorian were really good. Like,
yeah, when they were fighting off the pikes and they were like back to back, and
yeah,
then when he was riding the Rancor.
hmm that's cool to
But
see. You
but
know,
let's forget about those Power
yeah.
Ranger knockoff kids.
Oh yeah, the mod people or whatever they were called, the mods. It's like
Yeah,
it's
literally
like
one of them during the finale did this
yeah,
like dumb little
he did the
spin for no
spin
reason.
move.
He did a spin for no reason.
He was like, "Oh, there's just
And
a
it like
random pike there." Boom! It was like he just did like
yeah, a whole 360.
yeah. The dude could have just gone like pew, but like he did like a pew like for no reason.
Gotta look cool for the big screen.
Yeah, he's like yo. Like, yeah, no, yeah, that show was very yeah. I did love Andor though. I'm hyped for Andor season
Oh
2.
yeah, see, I liked
Mhm.
Andor as well. Like it I actually liked how it was a lot more mature and
Yeah,
slow
I
paced.
feel like Star
And
Wars needs that right now.
the breakout episode where they all broke out of the prison was like one of
Oh,
my favorite
such a good
episodes.
episode. Andy Serkis's speech. And that
Yeah,
episode all that episode was so good, and then they hit you with that monologue at the end that Stellan Skarsgård dropped, and you're like, that's like some of the best acting in Star Wars.
yeah. It's just
Hmm.
you wish like the other shows had that kind of
Yeah, it's
budget.
like, come on. It's not even the budget, it's just the fact that it had care put into it. It's like the other
Yeah,
shows had more marketing and more, you know, and were more hyped. It's like, it's like, I knew going in that I'm like, that was actually a show that I was the most curious about because it's like, it's about that guy in Rogue One.
yeah. We know the fate of that character,
Yeah,
so
we know where he ends up. It's like, yeah, exactly. It's like who asked for this, you know?
and it also fixed the
Hmm.
it also fixed a glaring problem with like stormtroopers in general because stormtroopers are meant to be like elite forces for like the emperor. So
Yeah,
them having like lower law enforcement makes a lot more sense until like they need to include stormtroopers for like
yeah,
hard situations.
yeah. It's like it's when they had like that whole security division, that private security division in the first few episodes. Then they fucked up. Well, excuse me, and then they got dismantled by the Empire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, oh man, oh man. And then that whole the whole prison like you know that they were just arresting people to build because they wanted free laborers for the Death Star. Spoilers.
Yep.
Um, the show's been out for good almost a year. I forget when
Yeah.
the last
Almost a
one.
year.
Yeah,
Because I think it came out in what was it like late September or October,
yeah.
or was it like late August?
It wasn't in the summer. It wasn't in the summer. It was like because it ended like before the Bad Batch started. I remember because the Bad Batch
Yeah.
was
It was
airing at the same time as Mandalorian season 3.
yeah.
Um, and it's still I remember Bad Batch like the last few episodes of the Bad Batch were out. I was bummed because they dropped like Mandalorian season 3 like towards the end of the Bad Batch. So like the last few episodes of the Bad Batch were overshadowed by like the first few episodes of the Mandalorian, and
Yeah.
that season was mid. So yeah, and then the season that those last few episodes of the Bad Batch were literally some of the best Star Wars I had seen since Andor,
Yeah.
which was only a few months before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's just how it'd be.
yeah. People diss Star Wars now, but like we have a Tales of the Jedi coming. We have an Andor season 2 coming. We have a Bad Batch season 3 coming. We have the rest of Ahsoka to look forward to. Like, pretty sure that's gonna be like a 10 episode run or something like that.
And then even then, I don't know if you heard, but like the future like big Star Wars films that are coming in the
Yeah,
future, like there's gonna
we
be
got 3 fucking movies coming out. Like, one of them was directed by Dave Filoni, who literally should be Kathleen Kennedy's like he should have her job. Um,
yeah.
and people are gonna get so excited because people want to literally assassinate Kathleen Kennedy.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Well, I mean, do you got any other questions for me?
Mm. I do. So you're a small streamer. What advice do you have for other small streamers who are on this platform?
Oh, I might have touched on this before, but just have the patience, have the dedication,
Hmm.
and also just don't have the mindset of just making money from it. Do it because you actually want to do it. And also, I like to have a tactic where I have like the view count like off screen because that can be demotivating if it's low. So like have it off screen and
Yeah,
then just kind of be
yeah,
yourself. And of course, like don't be like directly yourself. Like at least have some sort of like a persona because I'm not gonna lie, when I play video games like on myself, I'm like very silent.
yeah. I play when I'm playing. I'm like, I don't typically play games that like my 2 main games the last year. I have like 3 games that I play: Left 4 Dead 2, Minecraft, and Stardew Valley. Like those are my games right now, and Minecraft is definitely like overshadowing the other two. Um,
This
I
is what I would also
yeah,
suggest. this is like a big one. You would want to stream like with your friends because when you have that
Yes.
camaraderie going back and
Yes.
forth, it's really gonna help the
hmm
atmosphere.
I'm an extrovert, so I need like talking to people gives me dopamine.
Yeah,
hmm
that's the best advice I can
Yeah,
give.
easy, good advice. Now we're down to the latter half of this podcast, and you've seen an episode. Do you remember the Florida Man of the Week?
Hey, I'll say that again. Your mic cut out.
Oh, we're on the later part of this episode. Do you remember the Florida Man of the Week segment?
Uh, I don't think so. I only did like a little small preview. I
Oh
didn't watch
yeah,
the
I always
episode.
I always do it. I always do it at the end. Yeah, I don't blame you. You're a busy man. All right. Oh, it hasn't updated since last week. Darn. Darn. Why you gotta do this to me, Fox Orlando? But basically, at the end of every one of these episodes, I basically shout out an incident with a Florida man. But you know what? I talked about these by myself last week. There were a good number of them. Florida man gets 10-day jail sentence after incident with woman at Red Lobster. What do you think happened?
Uh, so wait a minute.
There
He
was
got a what?
there was an incident at Red Lobster, right? And
Right.
he was sent to jail. All right. Why was he sent to jail? What was the incident?
So wait, he was at Red Lobster and he got sent to jail.
Mm-hmm. For an incident at the Red Lobster.
I almost feel like this is like a joke that I don't know the
Yeah.
point.
I'm just asking. What do you think happened? You want me to tell you?
What is it?
Sexual assault.
Is it like on like a lobster or something?
No. Just straight up sexual assault.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. They left that part out Fox News left that part out uh in the tagline or the title. Uh I have here's a classic one. Um Florida man arrested after shooting and killing neighbor's dog with a rifle. A lot of these are just like what the fuck. There's an example of a mom teaching her kids to shoplift. Um, One guy I was impressive. He threw a grill at the cops as they were trying to arrest him. Like he picked up a grill and threw it at him, and those things are
Okay.
fucking heavy. Um, yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if like one of these was like if one of this Florida man had like a pet
yeah,
alligator that's sent to attack an officer.
yeah. You see stuff like it's like this guy flipped off a cop, like and got pulled over for it, right? And you see like light ones like, oh, this guy just did something stupid, right? Oh, this guy accidentally shot the neighbor's dog. But then you see like, Florida man beats grandmother to death within an inch of her life with a hammer. It's just like, what the fuck? Like, you go from fucking, incident at Red
Yeah,
Lobster to fucking murder, 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 murder. It's
yeah,
like, whoa.
that is like a what the fuck moment.
Yeah. It's like, huh? It's like, yeah, it's just a list. You gotta love Fox News for their inconsistent uh, taglines.
Yeah, and I don't watch Fox News,
Yeah,
so
that's fair. I don't really watch the news either. I only read their website for Florida Man articles when I need. I literally started this segment because I didn't know how to end episodes, so I'm like, all right, let's just drag out. Um, let's
drag something out.
I
That's
can get at
funny.
least 5 minutes out of this. I can get 5 minutes. All right, now yeah, I have no other questions for you. You've been great. Shout yourself out. Shout yourself
All right.
out.
Thanks for everybody who happened to tune into this video. Definitely check out my Twitch channel, and if you're also interested, join my Discord. I have lovely people who will welcome you with open arms.
Unlike the Dead by Daylight community.
Unlike some of the Dead by Daylight community.
Yeah, we the business call that a callback. Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you, Sergeant CJ, for coming on. I'll definitely DM you a Discord server after this. And this episode airs Friday. I'll send you the episode when it comes out.
Of course. It's been an honor.
Yeah. Thank you for being on this episode of the Dr. Pepper Guy podcast. It's hard. Thank you for being cooperative. Usually it's tough to get other creators on these things because you almost never, congrats to you for being trusting and, just random guy in your DMs being like, hey, want to be on my podcast?
I considered it because I was like, this might be interesting.
Yeah. Worst case, you just pretend it never happened, right?
Yeah.
Fingers crossed you don't go with that option.
Nah.
Thank
I might
you.
share the video with my friends when it comes out.
Yeah. Tell them to subscribe.
Of course.
Don't forget to shop at w.gg, viewers. Use code Elliot for a discount, spelled E-L-I-E-T. I spell it incorrectly because I'm weird like that. I'm not like other creators. I'm cool. I spell my name wrong, even though my name isn't actually fucking Elliot. They spell it wrong. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, shop at w.gg, and use code Elliot, and give Sergeant CJ a follow. He came onto this podcast. He was cooperative. He got harassed. All right. This may not be as beneficial of a shout out as Spooky Jukes, but you know what? Still give him a follow on Twitch. Let's try to get him to 5,000 followers by the end of 2023. All right. That's pretty much it. Peace out, fam. And I'm getting a spam call.